Okay, so today we're going to be working on section 8.5, a geometric series. So remember, we've done arithmetic series so far. And with arithmetic series, it's all about whether or not you're adding or subtracting the same number over and over again to get the terms they give you, right? So the way we mentioned it before was something kind of like this. If I were to give you a set of terms that look like this, if I'd ask you, is this an arithmetic series or an arithmetic series? You would say yes, it is. And the reason why you would say yes, it is because in order to go from 2 to 4, you add 2. From 4 to 6, you add 2. 6 to 8, you add 2. So you consistently add the same number. Or maybe you're subtracting it, right? Maybe if I went 8, 6, 4, 2 instead, it'd be minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, right? So an arithmetic series was based on adding or subtracting the same number consistently throughout the sequence, okay, throughout all the terms, okay. Geometric series is different. That one has to do with multiplying, okay. So if I give you these options, and I know you guys probably saw these on some homework problems, and they asked you, is that an arithmetic sequence or an arithmetic sequence? Your answer should have been no. And the reason is because to go from 2 to 4, you add 2, but from 4 to 8, you add 4. From 8 to 16, you add 8. The numbers keep changing, right? But if you do times 2, right? Times 2, so 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. This is called a geometric sequence, okay? So a geometric sequence, let me write this down for us. So a geometric sequence this is where you're gonna, oh, and I just realized I put the word series up here. I'm sorry about that, guys. It should be sequences. We'll do series tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next time on Thursday. So a geometric sequence is when you multiply, not divide, just multiply. Now we might multiply by fractions, which is going to look like division, but when you multiply by the same number to get every term, okay? So we're gonna, this is when you multiply every term by the same number. Okay, and that's called the common ratio. Okay, and we actually call that the letter R. Okay, so when you multiply every term by the same number, that's a geometric sequence. Okay, and we call that the common ratio, the letter R. Now, here's your formula for it. That way you can see what it looks like. A sub n, so A sub n is equal to A sub 1 times R to the n minus 1. That's the formula. So you can see how R is part of that equation. You're always multiplying it times A sub 1, right? So it's a common multiple or a common ratio. They call it a ratio because it could be a fraction, okay? So it could be a fraction, it can be a normal number. As long as you're multiplying by it, that is going to be your geometric sequence formula. All right, now this is called the standard form, by the way. Okay, so we can kind of label that, or explicit. I guess let's call it explicit. Just like the arithmetic sequence had an explicit form, right? A sub n equals to A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That's for arithmetic sequences. Here's your explicit form for your geometric sequence. So you'll use this to find specific terms and things like that. Maybe you have to solve for R or A1 or something like that. So we tend to use this formula for that. Now, the first 6 questions on your homework, they're going to ask you, is this a geometric sequence? And if it is, find the common ratio. Okay? So here's some examples for that. So example number 1. Are these geometric sequences? If they are, find the common ratio. So are these geometric sequences? And if they are, find the common ratio. So this is a yes or no answer, basically. So I'll give you the first one here. 3, 5, 9, 11, 13. Is this a geometric sequence? No, right? Because can I multiply 3 by 1 to get 5 or 3 by half or anything like that? Right? I can add 2 to get 5 and then add 4 to get 9 and then add 2 to get 11 and 2 to get 13. It's not even an arithmetic sequence, okay? This doesn't have a pattern of multiplying every number by 2 or anything like that. So this one right here, you're just going to write no. That's all. Okay? So that one is not a geometric sequence. Okay? What about this one? Is that a geometric sequence? What do you guys think? To go from -4 to -20, what do I multiply by? By 5. If I multiply -20 by 5, what do I get? -100. And if I multiply -100 by 5, I get -500. So from here to here, let me kind of show this here. From here to here, it's times 5. Times 5. Times 5. Okay? So I'm going to write yes. And I'm going to put R is equal to 5. By the way, if you ever notice that the numbers are jumping from positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, it doesn't automatically mean it's not a geometric series. That just means that maybe you're multiplying by a negative number all the time. So if the number was positive to begin with and you multiply it times a negative, it becomes negative. And then if you multiply that negative number by a negative r, it'll become positive. And do that again, it'll become negative. So just because it's switching signs like plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a geometric sequence. It just means that the r value, the common ratio, is negative itself. Okay, so I'm going to put a little note there for you guys here, okay? So just a quick note. I'll put a plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus sequence just means that R could be negative. Okay, now highlight that right there. R could be negative. That is possible. So just because it's jumping plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus doesn't mean that it's not geometric. Okay, I see one problem here. I actually see 2 of them that are oscillating back and forth. Okay, they call them alternating sequences. So it could be that r is just negative, so every time you multiply by a negative, it keeps changing the sign from minus to plus, from plus to minus. Okay? So that is a possibility. So when you guys see homework like that, don't say, oh, it can't be because it's changing signs. Well, yeah, it's okay. It's just maybe a negative number you're multiplying by. Okay? Any questions on that? Because usually the first part is pretty easy, right? Is it yes or no? You don't have to do any work really. It's just pretty straightforward. All right. The next set that they're going to ask you to do, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 problems. They're going to tell you, if I give you the first term and the common ratio, can you find the first 4 terms? So if I give you a sub 1 and r, can you find me the first 4 terms? So here you go. Let me give you guys these. Now, a calculator might be useful for these, but not necessarily all the time. Just depends on what you're multiplying by. So, all right. So given the first term and the common ratio, write the first 4 terms. Oops, I forgot to put one thing here. And the explicit formula. Now, I think writing out the instructions is going to be harder than the problems themselves. Okay? This is pretty easy stuff so far. Okay? You just need a formula, which we talked about. I'll rewrite it again. And then you're just going to find the first 4 terms, which again, all you're going to do is get the first term and multiply it by the same number over and over and over to get your first 4 terms. And then writing the formula, like I said, you already have a formula, just plug in your numbers. That's it. It's pretty easy. It's not a headache whatsoever. So here you go. I'm going to make one up, and then I'm going to give you one from your homework. So this first one is going to be from your homework. We'll do this, and r is -6. Because there's only 4 of them. I don't want to do half of them. I'll let you do 3. They don't take too long. So there's the first term, and there's the ratio that you're going to be multiplying it by. Okay? Times -6. So here we go. They want the first 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, this is what I do. You don't have to do that, but I just like to organize my work, so I have a goal, right? This is what I need to fill in. What do I put in the first spot? A 2, right? They gave that to me. All right, and then what I'm going to do now is just consistently multiply by -6. So 2 times -6, that's -12. -12 times -6 is 72. 72 times -6, so you can put it over here. What do we get at 12? That's 43, so 44, so 400, -442. It has to be negative because I'm multiplying it by -6. Okay? So 442, and I'm done. That's it. There's my first 4 terms. Okay? So 2, -12, 72, -442. And then they said, oh, write the formula. So here we go. Let me write the formula here on this side. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. Just fill in whatever they gave us. They gave us a sub 1. They gave us r. So my answer is going to look like this. A sub n is equal to a sub 1, that's 2, times r, which is -6, to the n minus 1. And this is your solution. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Is this like crazy difficult or, huh? Oh, I multiplied wrong. I said 7 times 6 is 43. So that's on me. Yeah, 432. Thank you. And you get extra credit. 432. Hold on, let me write. It's been a while since I've given people extra credit. Either I'm making mistakes and no one's telling me, or I haven't made a lot of mistakes. It's been weeks. I'm sure I've made mistakes and people just haven't told me. So yeah, thank you. 430. Again, calculator would be useful, right? That way you don't actually make a mistake there. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe in my head I did the plus one already. I don't know. Whatever. It's early. So, but other than that mistake, do you guys see it's not too bad, right? Just multiply and then rewrite your function. So let me give you just another one that we're going to make up here. And I'm going to do this one a little bit tougher on purpose. So we'll say a sub 1 is... Oh, okay, I got to make sure this works. 120 and r is half. I want you guys to see one with a fraction. They don't always give you fraction r values, but they do exist. Okay, and from what I'm seeing right here in your problems, for those 4 problems, they didn't give you a fraction value, but still, they do exist. Okay, so good for us to try one that's the fraction. So 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we know what the first term is. Bless you. To find the next term, I multiply 120 times half, or in other words, half of 120. So that's going to be 60. Then I multiply 60 times half. That's 30. And then I multiply 30 times half. That's 15. And there's my first 4 terms. Okay? Now they want me to write my equation. All right? So remember, I'll write this down the side again. The equation is a sub n equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So my equation will be a sub n equal to a sub 1, which is 120, times r, which is 1/2, to the n minus 1. And there you go. There's your solution. So that's the whole front page of your homework, okay? Yes and no, first 6 problems. You're just saying yes it is, no it isn't, a geometric sequence. If it is, I have to label the r value. If it's not, no need to do that. And then the bottom part of the homework is going to say, I'm giving you the first term, I'm giving you the r, I need you to give me the first 4 terms and then multiply to find the rest of them. Right? Sorry, not multiply. Use those 2 terms to find your explicit. I was thinking of something else. So, all right, the backside. And I'm only going to show you one of these. I'm not going to show a lot of these. They're going to give you the sequence. So it's going to be kind of like what we just did right now, but they're going to give you like 4 terms, and they're going to say, well, figure out the r and then give me the formula. So there's 4 problems like this. They're going to look very similar. So example number 3, find the common ratio. Find the common ratio. So that's r. And the explicit formula. So find the common ratio and the explicit formula. And I'm going to do one from your homework, and then we'll move on. So let's see. We'll do 2, -10, 50, -250. So they're not asking you to find out if this is geometric. It definitely is, because they're telling you to find the r value. Okay? So you don't have to test it. But what are they multiplying to go from 2 to -10, -10 to 50, 50 to -250? A -5. So yeah. So from here to here, it's -5 that you're multiplying by. From here to here, you're multiplying by -5. From here to here, you're multiplying by -5, right? So your r value is negative 5. And then they say, okay, give me the formula. Well, in order to do the formula, I need first term and I need r. And I do have both. R is negative 5 and my first term is 2. So I'm just going to write a sub n is equal to a sub 1, that's 2, times negative 5 to the n minus 1. And here's my answer for that one. So notice they give you everything you need for this problem. You just got to be able to see it. It's there. It's not hidden or anything like. They're not trying to be sneaky. Just look for the first term, figure out your R value. Now, sometimes people tell me about, what if in my head I can't do that? What if I can't see that it's times a negative 5? How else could I do it? So what you're going to do, and let me just write this right here. You're going to go backwards and you're going to divide. You're going to say negative 250 divided by 50. You'll say negative 50 divided by 10. Negative 10 divided by 2. You'll notice all of these come out to negative 5. When you do the division, they all come out to negative 5. That's how you know the common value that they all have is a negative 5. So if you're not sure, if you can't figure out the pattern, division. You go from the back towards the front, every pair of numbers, negative 250 and 50, 50 and negative 10, and then negative 10 and 2. All of those make a little division problem, big divided by, or not, let me not say big divided by little, right divided by left, right divided by left. Always go right to left. And that's going to give you a little fraction that you guys can try to figure out your R with. Okay? So that'll be 4 problems, and then here's the last set of problems that you guys are going to be given. This is example number 4. I know these are like a lot of different things, but the reason why they give you so many is because they're not necessarily difficult problems. It doesn't take a long time to do them. So they did give you 18 problems overall. They're going to say, given the explicit formula, so the explicit formula, find the common ratio and the term named. So given the explicit formula, find the common ratio and the term named. I'm only going to do one of these for you guys because there's only 4 of them and they're not insanely difficult, but you probably are going to use a calculator for this, okay? Just so you know. So here's the problem. Let's try number 16 here. So a sub n is equal to 4 times a negative 2. I don't like that they put times, but that's fine. I usually don't write the times part. I just put the parenthesis next to the number. But that's the way they have it written for you guys. Okay? So, and then they want you to find a sub 12. Okay, so the n value is 12. So, the easy part first. Maybe you may not think it's easy, but it truly is. What's my R value? Negative 2. It's right there. It's in the parenthesis, right? Negative 2. So that's not too bad. All right. What's a sub 12? Well, in order to figure out a sub 12, n has to be 12. So a sub 12 is 4 times negative 2 to the 12 minus 1. Well, 12 minus 1 is 11, so that's 4 times negative 2 to the 11th power. I don't know what negative 2 to the 11th power is, and then I got to multiply it by 4. So what I'm going to do is just use a calculator. So I'll get a calculator here. 4 times, nope, that's not, I don't want to do a derivative, sorry about that. 4 times negative 2 to the 11th power. So 4 times negative 2 to the 11th power. And then I'll just hit enter, and it'll give me the answer. So it's negative 8192. So negative 8192. So here's my answer. And here's my R value. And that's it. So you'll just plug in your n, whatever they want, a sub 12, a sub 20, a sub 6. Plug in that number into the n minus 1 portion, and then use your calculator to calculate it out. Okay? So you'll have 3 more of those to do. All right? And again, none of this stuff is insanely difficult. It's just you have to know the formula in case they ask you to use it. And also just remember to find R. It's just multiplying by what number, right? What number are you consistently multiplying by? That's your R value. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop this. I'll give you guys a homework so you guys have some time to work on it.